From the 2023 playoff exit at the hands of LeBron's seventh-seeded Lakers to the chef always being in the king's shadow, here's why Steph Curry will always be scared of LeBron James. A lot of that has to do with their meeting at the Western Conference semifinals, cause for many that was supposed to be the final time we'd see a LeBron-Steph series in the playoffs. Everything was on the line, and Steph, like always, had the superior side. The narrative going into those series was that if LeBron knocks out the Warriors at 38 years of age and with a relatively poorer squad, then it'd end the debate once and for all. Don't get me wrong here. They're both all-time greats, but Steph's been trying to get a seat at the GOAT's table. The only thing standing in his way? LeBron James. Unfortunately, the damage at the 2023 playoffs was way too massive for Steph to make the cut. But as fickle as the NBA is, it wouldn't surprise me or anyone for that matter if Steph gets back in the discussions should he win another ring before he retires. LeBron, on the other hand, definitely has a seat at that table. This series win over the Curry-led Warriors was only a personal battle that he wanted to win. It didn't do anything to advance his already massive legacy. He's competing with Michael Jordan for the GOAT crown. In a way, Steph's always been chasing LeBron for that honor. Most importantly, Steph's teams have been the favorites every single time. But what's truly absurd is that the King managed to shut the haters up in his 20th season. Steph won the battle against the Lakers for the 6th seed, returning just in time from his injuries to guide the Warriors to an automatic playoff berth, but would lose the war one round later. The Warriors getting that 6th spot forced the Lakers to take on the 2nd seed in the West, and both teams came through after tough first-round fixtures. Now, the Warriors were the defending champions in 2023. No doubt they'd be the heavy favorites to make it out the West, right? Well, they had LeBron standing in the way, something that the Warriors and Curry didn't have to experience throughout the last decade because James was in the East and Steph had a free run at things in the West. Since LeBron's made the switch to the West, he's had the edge over Steph. That's insane because he's the much older star, and Curry is expected to dominate these meetings. Yet, LeBron won their solo play-in match a couple of years before knocking them out in 2023. As far as longevity debates go, Steph can't match LeBron, but then again, no one can. What the chef and the Dub Nation find it hard to swallow, though, is how LeBron actually got a seat on that GOAT table at their very expense. Yes, you got that right. I'm talking about the 2016 NBA Finals. LeBron's won everything there is to win, and multiple times. That being said, he's not the only player to win big. Many others have done it throughout NBA history. So, what makes him so special? What separates the GOATs from your everyday winners are the big moments and the stories. For MJ, it was the flu game. For LeBron, it was the 2016 Finals, also known as the greatest comeback of all time, perhaps the greatest in sporting history. Roger Federer's comeback from 2 sets down in the French Open 2009 comes close. Liverpool's miraculous win over AC Milan after being 3-0 down at halftime in the 2005 Champions League is a good shout, but 3-1 down in the finals? No room for error, and having to win 3 straight games, 2 of those on the road against the team that won 73 games in the regular season? Nah, there's no way there's a greater comeback than this one. It was a LeBron James masterclass. He played his heart out in Game 5, scoring 41 points to force a Game 6 back in Cleveland. The Warriors thought it was just a consolation performance. And not to mention, LeBron had bullied Steph throughout that game. He had a huge blocked shot, then proceeded to talk trash to his face. Then, he followed it up, scoring 41 again, this time in Game 6 in front of a pumped Cavs home support, taking the series to a Game 7 back in Oracle Arena. I think Game 7 of the 2016 NBA Finals is something that Steph's therapist had a lot to hear about. That's where his PTSD comes from. To this day, ask any Golden State fan about the 2016 NBA Finals and they'll tell you why Michael Jordan's the GOAT. I'm kidding, but it's true. It wasn't a long time ago that Steph and LeBron were actually friends, you know? But Dub Nation disrespected Bron. It was Curry's splash brother, Klay Thompson, who fired shots at LeBron at the end of Game 4. That's where the rivalry turned on its head. As much as the 2016 Finals contributed to furthering LeBron's legacy, they also contributed to MJ getting a new host of fans, because anyone associated with the Warriors believed that the GOAT wasn't LeBron, it was MJ. For Steph, too, it was the worst moment of his life. Imagine defeating LeBron in 3 NBA Finals, destroying him in the 2018 Finals, but that one loss being the only thing that people talk about. No wonder Steph's been so scared of Bron throughout their career. In fact, I'd even argue that LeBron got done really bad in the 2015 finals, and if he had an ounce of luck going his way, the King would be sitting on 5 rings at least, and Steph's legacy wouldn't be relevant at all. If not for Irving's injury in the 2015 NBA Finals, do you really think that the Cavaliers would have lost that? No chance. LeBron was basically the only one contributing to the offense during the 2015 Finals, and if he had any sort of help from Kyrie that year, who'd gotten injured in the playoffs, the Cavaliers would have been the favorites for the crown. Deep down, Steph probably knows that. It's not easy playing against super teams without having a decent supporting cast. LeBron had a bit of help in 2016. He went all the way. He had a second star in Anthony Davis, and he defeated the Warriors in 2023. Take a look at the chef's legacy. He's always needed someone to hold his hand, and even then he's come up short. Do you really think the Warriors would have won in 2017 and 2018 over LeBron if not Kevin Durant? No chance. To support that claim, I present you the Finals MVP winner from both years. It's KD. They made the playing field unfair. Golden State already had a brilliant roster, losing less games than any other team has lost in NBA history in 2016, and then adding one of the greatest scorers the NBA has ever seen in Kevin Durant to that team. That's just nuts. No wonder they destroyed LeBron's Cavaliers in 2017 and then in 2018. Curry knows that. Without the right kind of supporting cast, which includes all-star players in every position, he can't win against James. That's a fact. If you can't beat LeBron when he's in his late 30s over a playoff series, how can you possibly claim to have gotten the better of him during 3 NBA Finals? That was only a case of David versus Goliath. Even in the 2015 NBA Finals, it was Andre Iguodala who came up clutch. Steph was nowhere to be seen. On the other hand, LeBron produced the greatest NBA Finals performance in 2016 to take his team to a series win. So when the pressure is on, it's James who comes up with the goods for his team, while Steph relies on his superstar cast to do it for him. And on the topic of the GOAT debates, the three-point king won't ever be able to surpass LeBron. He's always been in LeBron's shadow. Y'all saw that video where James is predicting Steph to be a good player in the NBA, right? He's that old. He was making predictions about a young Steph when he came in, while the king himself was already a distinguished superstar at that point. More than 15 years later, LeBron was still lifting the heavy burden of his team and inflicting defeat on Steph and his Warriors side. Think about it. The Warriors had never lost a playoff series in the Western Conference under Steve Kerr until they met a LeBron team in the West for the first time. Can you imagine how different NBA history would have been if LeBron was playing for a Western team during that run? Would Curry have amassed the 4 rings that he did? Tough question, isn't it? All I know is Steph dominated the NBA, but his kryptonite has always been LeBron. The one question he never had an answer to, and it's not a surprise that he's feared him throughout his career. So, from never being able to surpass the king to the 2023 playoff exit at the hands of LeBron's 7th-seeded Lakers, this was why Steph Curry will always be scared of LeBron James.